This section we're calling 10 tips for saving money, but I could really just as easily say 100 tips for saving money because there's so many things people can do to save money. And if you want to find additional resources, simply Google tips for saving money and you'll find lots of things. Probably one of the most important things to save money, though, is simply to pay yourself first. Ideally, you should have a budget so that every dollar that you have, you know where it's going to go. But if you're not really good with budgeting, then pay yourself first. Take 10% or whatever you've decided to set aside and live on the rest. Now, when I say pay yourself first, I also would include pay God first. I guess you can't pay God first and pay yourself first, but by that I mean simply set aside automatically that money. So 10% for God, 10% for yourself, and automate that. If you get paid automatically, simply have it set aside so money automatically comes out of your checking account and goes into a savings account. If you're at a place where you get a 401k, definitely take advantage of that option, particularly if you get a match. So many people are giving up on free money if they don't take advantage of a 401k. 401k, the word 401k, that's simply a line from the tax code about a particular type of retirement plan. But certainly, if you have that at your place of work, take advantage of that. A third very important point is to start early. Time is a wonderful magic compounding factor. In an earlier session, I shared about what I talked to my students about in class, how a $5 cup of coffee, if that $5 is invested over a period of roughly 50 years, will be worth $600. If you start early, you have a huge advantage because your money will double approximately every 7 years if you can get a 10% return on it, which is the long-term average of the stock market. Another very important tip for saving money is to find like-minded friends. If you're trying to be frugal, but all your friends are running out and spending money and eating out at fancy restaurants and spending money at Disneyland and things like that, then it's going to be very difficult for you to save money. Now, I'm not opposed to going to Disneyland. I'm not opposed to going to nice restaurants. I'm not opposed to buying high-quality coffee. But the point is you need to think about your expenses, and if you're trying to save money, there are certain things you probably need to cut back on. It's been said that the 6 people you spend the most time with will determine your future destiny. So look at the friends you have. Are these people shaping you on how you're living? And if you hang out with people who are frugal, probably you're going to be frugal. If you hang out with people who blow their money on crazy things, then you're probably going to be influenced to blow your money on crazy things. Another tip, don't eat out, or if you do, split an entree or appetizer and drink water with women. My wife and I do this all the time. We'll go out to a restaurant and we'll share an entree, partly to save money, but partly because we simply don't need all the calories of the massively huge entrees many restaurants serve. And drinking water with lemon is a very inexpensive way as well. Soft drinks and other beverages often can add a huge cost to your tab. So be cautious about how you eat out. Learn to cook and eat with friends. It's simply much cheaper to cook at home, and it's very fun to have friends over for dinner and sometimes just cook together. Number 7, don't buy bottled water. This drives me crazy. I grew up drinking water out of a hydrant and a hose, and I see people, students coming into class with a bottle of water that they've paid good money for. And it's like, I know these students are borrowing money to go to college, and they're buying bottled water. In almost every case, tap water is safer or just as safe as bottled water. If you don't like the taste of water, buy a charcoal filter, either a filtered bottle or put one on your faucet. But I'm not saying you should never buy bottled water. I'll occasionally buy it because I can throw it in the trunk of my car as an emergency tool. But you really don't need to buy bottled water to drink every day. Number 8 is to reduce your entertainment costs. I've seen students who I know have student debt who are complaining about not having money going to movies. Movies are very expensive. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't go to movies, but that's a very big cost, and if you're trying to save money, you need to reduce that. Often you can go to your local library and check out a DVD from them, or borrow your friends' movies, or if you want, you can get a subscription to one of the many movie services, which aren't that expensive, but if that's too much money, just go to the library and get the DVDs. Another way to have good entertainment is to read good books. Books are available at the library for free, and certainly that is a good option for inexpensive entertainment. Another thing to do is to plan your trips to eliminate unnecessary driving. Gasoline is expensive, and often people will run out and then they get home and realize they needed to do something else. So plan your trips accordingly. So these are simply 10 tips. There are dozens more. Again, you can go on the internet. You can talk to your friends. What is it that they do to save money? Again, I'm not opposed to spending money on quality things, but everything has a trade-off. And so if you go to a movie today, that's less money that you have for something later down the road. So be careful in the decisions that you make about how you spend your money.